most on. Yeah, because I want to also curate a session that will be relevant for all of us. So as I introduce myself, you can just be typing. Okay. So about me, I am an advocate of the High Court of Kenya and a human rights enthusiast. Maybe that's the word. I have a keen interest in human rights, especially the rights of women. Yeah. So I do online advocacy, which means you can check on Instagram. I have a page that is Sauti ya Mama, where I just basically upload content about women, just the rights of women. And again, as you'll note, sexual reproductive health rights is a bit of an emerging trend that is in the human rights world. It's also something that I'm trying to explore. Yeah. So Angie invited me here today to talk about my experience that is on this journey. Okay, so I see three of us are undergraduate students, which is a good thing. Okay, so now I know where to begin from. Jekwat Karen, this one is undergraduate student. There's Charity, who's my good friend, practicing advocate. That's fine. So maybe I think Angie, my approach will be maybe just saying what helped me in various stages. I don't know if that's good. Okay, that's good. So Angie had given me a list of things to just touch on. So one was tips for surviving law school. So I think in terms of surviving law school, for me there's just one way to survive law school, and that is by creating time to read. Like there's no hallelujah shortcut. I can't tell you this is the secret to knowing things. This is the secret to not, having supplementary. You just have to read, and the only way to read is actually to create time, right? And I think I was just thinking about this today. Campus offers relaxation. It offers an illusion of free time. It offers an illusion of, you can do whatever you want and get away with it. But that is usually true until you start getting supplementaries, until you can't even figure out how to make your CV, until you don't have an internship, until things are not working for you. So for me, I just tell you, make your day more about your law school than about any other thing. So tip for me, remember, me personally, and you just give me a minute.
Okay, okay. Okay, so as we wait for her, let me just go back to the chat box. I can see someone is in 2.1, Jekwat Karen. Rachel is an undergraduate student, 2.1, Joseph, Jekwat Karen, practicing advocate and all that. So, oh yeah, she's back. So, please proceed.
Yes. Okay. So I'll tell you, I think the three things that really, or four maybe, that usually surround a campus student's life. I'd say one is of course the academic work, which is what brought you to school basically. Number two would be the friendships. Number three would be interpersonal relationships. Then maybe number four would be entertainment and how you spend your fun time. But I think for me, the tip, if you can call it that, for surviving law school, is make sure that your academic time takes most of that time, right? And one thing you'll realize about knowledge is knowledge gives, like it gives. If you have a chance to read. It may not help you in that semester, but one day, years down the line, you go to an interview, they ask you a question which you read about, you answered about one time, and I'm telling you, it really comes through. So for me, my advice is be the weird one in the class who looks like they're obsessed with this course, because you actually need to be obsessed. I don't know about other people's journey, but obsession is a good thing when it comes to um, learning about the law. Be obsessed, be the weird one, be the one who's always the library, the one who's always in class, always participating. be that person, and it actually pays off. And I'm saying it pays off because I have actually gone to interviews and used classroom knowledge, right? Even if people say you in actual practice, but you see, you need an internship, you need pupillage, that knowledge is still going to be tested at some point, right? Yes. So that's the law school part. Then Angie had also asked me to talk about extracurricular activities. So for me, one, I don't do sports. Like, it doesn't work for me. I have given it an effort. It does not. But during my undergraduate, what I invested in was mooting. I did quite a number of moots, which is how I think I came to meet Angie. Yes, I think at some point we mooted together or something. So one thing I'll tell you about mooting is it stretches your limits as a student of law. You know, like, you may not win that chair or that cup. You may not exactly stand out, be number one or something, but I'll tell you one thing, and Angie will confirm this. Mooting stretches your, how do I say it, your defense, or how do I say it? Like, it gives you this experience that is very peculiar to a person who has mooted. And I'll tell you one thing about mooting. It's about the process and not the result. If you go to moot and keep saying I want to be number one, to be number one, it may not go well. But if you go there with an aim of, I want to learn how to address people, I want to learn how to draft documents, that will really help. And like I said, it pushes your boundaries. You don't have space to be shy, cute, and everything. You have to step up and, just deliver on that mood. And even if you do it halfway, I think halfway is better than nothing. And by halfway, I mean you don't exactly prevail or you don't win any cup. Just do it. Yeah, just do it. Other extracurricular activities, I'm not really sure, but for me, mooting is what I invested in. The other thing Angie had asked me to talk about is KSL experience, but I'll tell you one thing that really helped me being in undergraduate was also interning, right? When you go home, like, I'll give a personal example. I went home after my judicial attachment. I just approached a random lawyer back home in a village somewhere, and I asked them if I could intern with them, and they accepted. It was a very short while, probably 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, around there, just a short while, but it made a difference for me. So at the end of the day, I left with like a recommendation letter, so which is something that helped me up until probably holding over stage or something. So like I said, the small things that matter, and that was like my first employer. Then when I was around fourth year, I also did volunteer at a law firm somewhere in Karen. And like I said, all these things, they just push you a step forward. Like, did you win the lottery? Absolutely no, you didn't win the lottery. But guess what? You have something to show your prospective pupil master, right? If you go to a law firm, you're not starting from scratch. You're telling them, hey, this is a recommendation letter from someone. So it really matters, right? So don't look at yourself and say, I'm an undergraduate, I don't qualify. Who told you? Let someone else look you in the eye and tell you, I don't think you're qualified, than for you to just sit there and cry and say, oh my God, I'm not qualified, I'm not qualified. Who told you? Approach a prospective employer, tell them, I'm an undergraduate, want to learn how to do this and this. And people recognize efforts, and yeah, you just may end up with an opportunity somewhere. So Angie had told me to also address the issue of Kenya School of Law experience. So Kenya School of Law is a different ballgame. Maybe in undergraduate you'll get away with not reading. Maybe you'll get away with it. But in Kenya School of Law, you won't get away with it, right? Because they have a system, and of course, I'm sure most of you know about CLE, that is quite unforgiving. Like I said, I can only speak from my perspective. Like, I know people who jollied through law school, but for me, I'll tell you, it was pure effort, like pure serious effort. So Kenya School of Law, the same thing I told you about. You have so many avenues of pleasure, so much free time. In fact, for us, school was online. That was the whole KSL. We didn't go physical. It was online, which means you really had to have a sense of drive for you to achieve anything at that stage in life. So yeah, be the weird one, be the crazy one who's always attending class, perfect notes, nini nini, kuwa tu mtiaji. Like when it comes to your academics, and especially as a lawyer, kuwa mtiaji. Like just be that mtiaji in class who does that. Because I'm telling you, I think there's something for me that I call residual knowledge. Yeah, like you'll ask me something 5 years from now, the answer will be very clear in my head. Why? Because once upon a time, I invested in that moment of just understanding how this thing worked. So even if you transfer me to like an area of law that I don't know, one, my adaptability is quite high. Two, I'll be able to pick from that what I call residual knowledge and catch up really fast. So knowledge gives, yeah. Invest in your academics, especially at KSL level. So next we move to pupillage experience. I think this is for me a bit where the real life challenges began, right? Pupillage is a different ball game. Number one, where are you going for pupillage? That is a very important question you need to ask yourself, because I feel like pupillage sets you up in a way. If you don't get your desired place to go for pupillage, it is life, it is life. But if you can get a very good place where the experience is diverse, that will be great. So I think it's 8:36. Maybe Angie, you can just tell us what to do before 8:40 so that you come back and pick up this conversation from page.
Oh yeah, I've enjoyed the session. Thank you so much. So it's 8:36. So it will end at around 8:40. So we can take a short break, then come back. Short break, I mean just leave, then come back using the same link. So I'll just end the meeting, then we come back using the same link. Sawa, please come back. You have to have questions for Immaculate.